Hey, good evening, Lori, Krista, Adele, Heather. We have a few more friends. We'll see if they are joining us. I know Holly was maybe here, and Erica and Stephanie, but maybe you're watching on the replay. And if you are, that is excellent as well. So, welcome to Light Awaken. This is my spring equinox workshop. I feel most of you were at the winter solstice one, I think. My voice is still very rough. I am not sick. I was saying to my class yesterday, I screamed too much at my son's hockey game. And so they went in like double overtime and lost in a shootout. So hence why I'm still recuperating now. Erica's here. Hi. Um, but I feel even though I might break a little bit, hopefully you don't mind. I'm extra, extra extra rough. I'm so glad to be here with all of you. Holly made it. Yay, Erica. Yay. So I was just saying, welcome. I'm gonna share my screen right away. I made a playlist for you all. So, the spring equinox for me as a yogini, they're all special, the solstice and the equinox, but the equinoxes on each side, they are the media, they are the midpoint in between the two solstices. And if you have, I didn't pull it out, but the elephant card, the great balancer, Ganesh, I feel as a yogini, we're always looking to self-regulate and come back to our own kind of inner balance. And so the equinox really is kind of I love finding the title for that one because it is really the light that is awakening. It is not in full bloom yet, but it is expanding and awakening, and the seeds are planting. I still have a bit of a I'm all winter solstice gal, in my own introvertness, which maybe some of you don't know this, but I'm a true introvert and I love reflection, and I love, as much as like, obviously my job requires me to do a lot of public speaking. I really recharge just by myself. And so this is another season, right? It's the season of more the extroversion. It's coming out of, the darkness, the reflection, there's something really dense and heavy sometimes about winter, something very slow. There's a deep rest, perhaps, if we've let ourselves gone there. Another card in the Oracle deck for winter, it's the cradle of the bear, the bear's inner winter. And that's where really we source our strength, and to recognize the equinox, not just in the season right now, but in ourselves and in our own cycles, whether they be monthly or, however. Also tonight, I think most of you have a word of the year. Do you all have a word of the year? Krista, maybe you don't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But if you did have a word of the year, you know, um, is your word of the year, what season is your word of the year in? I think I might break through a lot in summer, you know. And of course we can't be in summer all the time. Just like we can't be in, winter all the time. Or in French, you say there's a word is penchant. We have like, how would you say that? Somebody knows, like a penchant, like a towards, like we lean more towards like a season. Um, and I told you, like, for me personally, like autumn and winter, but also I've learned to love winter. Like I think, the darkness and all that, like I really like cultivated that way more during the past decade. Um, So I want to explore that. I'm just going to share my screen really. I made you all a little PowerPoint presentation. I'm gonna go. I know there's some nerds in here. There's no nerds in here, right? We'll go and where's my thing? Okay, and let's hold on. It's not, do you see all my tabs up there? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's better if I do this. Which one do we like better? I don't know why all right, anyways. So here's my little thing. Before we begin, I want to start with a little poetry, but I'd love it actually that we just take our time to look around our sparkly Zoom room and look. There's some familiar faces. I know. Let me actually unstop my stream for a moment. Let's just look around and Erica, Holly, Lori, Krista, Heather, Adele, and myself. And let's go just palms face up and just acknowledge our presence here on the edge of the not on the edge, we're past the equinox now. We're truly in spring. And getting grounded together and attuning to the characteristics and aligning ourselves to the new season ahead and all its gifts, all it has to offer us, and allowing us to receive it as well. Deep breathe in and sigh out. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Laurie. Penchant is the same in English too, apparently. Do you say penchant? Penchant. Anyways, you all knew what I meant. So
It's much more beautiful in French.
I love it. So I wanted to start with a little passage that I have in my book that I actually shared. I don't have it close here, but I shared it in the winter solstice from my teacher, Shiva Ray. And it goes like this. I love this so much that I thought I would share it as an entrance into our workshop tonight. And it says, to say yes means to allow a thought or a circumstance to flower, to let go and expand. The trees say yes to every season. When spring comes, they say yes and they flower. Then summer comes, they say yes and become dry and thirsty. When fall comes, they say yes and change color and are ready to drop their leaves. To say yes means to surrender to every thought, feeling, and emotion. It means to let go, and letting go is a journey towards the heart. Do you love this? I love this. I really love, hi Stephanie, so good to see you. I love the yes energy for spring, you know. Um, and not that winter was like a no energy, but again, it was just more inward. And now we're slowly coming out of our little cocoon. We're coming out of our bear's cave. We're coming out of hibernation, and we're saying yes. And and of course we're connecting it with nature as the equinox. But I love this, and so many, poets refer to, flowers, a flower, nobody tells it to grow. It just does. And the cycles of it too, right? The cycles of nature. And so to recognize the cycles of nature inside us is so powerful, and so empowering too, because it gives us grace, it gives us, we can't be go, go, go all the time. We can't be in the effort zone all the time. We also need to give ourselves the opposite of that. So I love that. That was by Dr. Vincent Ladd, and that was shared by my teacher, Shiva Ray. So coming to a yes energy. And then how we'll attune to spring tonight. So we're into it now. We're just having a little intro. Um, we are gonna paint the way that I arranged tonight is we are gonna paint in sessions. So we're not just gonna paint at the end. So if you did have your paints like nearby, close to your yoga mat, close to your things, that would be great. And we're doing an exercise. I'm not going to show it to you right away because I want the suspense to go on, but I called it, I worked on it this week, and it's called expansion to spring painting. Expansion to spring painting. So we'll start with that this morning. Don't worry, I'll show you all the steps. Expansion to we're going to paint seeds, and then we'll go into an equinox meditation. It's an equinox meditation, but it's almost like a goodbye to winter. A goodbye to winter, and what we've been sitting with, and a welcoming of spring. And I thought about that, there's lots of breath work we could have done, but I wanted to keep it simple and I wanted to keep it more embodied tonight. So know that there's tons of cleansing breath that you could do, but I just felt more like going a bit more embodied. And then after the meditation, we'll go back to our painting. So we'll do in stages. And it's the same thing, expansion into spring. This time we'll water the seeds. Then we'll go into our Satya practice. Did everyone has done Satya with me before? No. Oh, so exciting. So, so Satya's a practice is mainly done on your back. Yeah. So it's actually a very earth practice. But of course, I added my Estelle flair to it. And so tonight it's a bit more airy. And it's actually, in spring, spring is a very playful season. It's a very, there's lots of element of air. And in developmental, if you think of the developmental, like it's really the baby, it's the baby of the season. And so my teacher, T.S. Little, he does these beautiful movements that really recreate being a baby. And I wanted to do that with you all tonight. And when I first did this with him, I mean, I was blushing and I mean, it was on Zoom and all this, but he's a 60-year-old man and he was on his back and doing all these movements and he says, just like a baby. And it's very touching. It's very touching actually. And I was like, oh wow, like it just moved something in me, to witness this grown man doing that. I think it's something we don't witness a lot. Anyways, I'm very taken by this practice, and it's a practice I'm taking into my elder years. So we'll do some of that. And then we'll go back to our painting after, and then we'll do some journaling and sharing. So a bit of a different strategy for us tonight. I know we always usually we kind of talk a little bit, but we'll get to do that. But just I think I have it set before we move or something. But so can I get a thumbs up? Is that good? Are we good? Yeah. Stephanie, I saw you come in. Hello. Oh, I got some fireworks from the amazing. Amazing. It's the AI of Zoom, I think. Okay, so let's get our painting on board. So you will need a watercolor paper. I hope you got my last email. So I said just a bigger piece of paper. And the first creative mindful exercise is I want you all to paint seeds. If you've done, I mean, some of you have done this so many times with me, but if you've done the mark making course, this is like just painting dots. But the metaphor of seeds really ring true for me, you know, for spring. So I wanted to start with that in our expansion to spring painting. Okay, so I just took a picture of what I did this week. And I will put some music now. And I'd love that you stay just in the bottom because again, we'll just fill out the page as we go. Um, and I'll just put some music. Hopefully my audio is still connected here. And as you paint the seed, like really connect with the essence of that symbolism for you in your life. And as always, with mindful painting, to really make your breath conscious, connecting with your medium itself, and going back to the poem at the beginning, keeping the mantra of yes as you paint. Okay, let's do 2 more minutes, okay? Do you need a few more minutes? Erica, are you good? Holly, do you need a bit more? Okay. All right. So leave your painting on the side for now. And maybe even somewhere you can see it. You know how I love when your image faces you when you meditate, because we're going to go into our breath work now. And so if you've listened to some of my meditation in the breath studio, obviously, I'm very much of an instinctive person when I meditate. So, and I want that to be like a kind of freedom for you also. I don't know what kind of day you've had. Maybe you've been sitting all day, and the idea of sitting for the next 10 minutes maybe is not. So if you want to do a walking meditation, that's perfect. If you actually feel so exhausted right now and you'd rather lay down, that's completely fine. Lori has these like amazing chairs that I always look at when she's like, wouldn't that be nice to put my feet up on that? So again, I don't want you to feel you have to like stay seated in like that typical idea of what we think meditation is. So I think it's really important for me. So let's settle into our experience. So again, if you want to be on your back, if you want to close your video, we love seeing you too, but like well, however is best for you. I'm seated cross-legged. I have a big old cushion and my palms are face up for now. And I will take my index and my thumbs, I like this, and then I'll turn it over and I'll place it back onto my thighs. And just coming out of the painting experience and just noticing the residues of that. If there was anything, was there a felt release or curiosity or a confusion or just bringing that with you, that experience? Was there a calmness? Was there a joy? And we'll continue with the energy of yes. And wherever you are, finding your feet, your calves, your knees, your thighs, and then your sits bones, leaning back. So really giving in to your weight, the physical weight, but also the psychic weight. And breathing in and breathing out. And let's do one together in and a sigh out. And just noticing your presence here. Sensing your breath, hearing your breath, perhaps. Its rattle, its hums. And let's do now 2 cycles of breath together. So let's inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. So breathe in the front of you, breathing in the back of you, the left and right of you. So there's a heightened awareness of all the layers of you. And now a question. What have I been sitting with since the winter solstice? I'll repeat that. What have I been sitting with since the winter solstice? And notice as I ask this question, where is your breath directing itself? Is it going into the back of your heart? your throat, your forehead. Mine is going right in my low belly. Where have I been sitting since the winter solstice? And if you're unsure of an actual latitude in your body, an actual body part of your body, just go back to your heart, just like that poem was saying at the beginning. Every place leads back, all the yeses leads back to your heart. And let's take your breath again together in an audible breath and a sigh. And now I'd love for you to imagine seeds or buds, bulbs. And with your breath, kind of imagining that you're watering those seeds. It's like your breath awakens the seed that you've already planted. And so for me, my area was my belly, my really low abdomen. So imagining my seeds, and I can even take my painting into my mind's eye and bring it into almost like an imaginary tattoo. I'm breathing with that, breathing into my seeds. And so if it was in your heart, the seeds and the bulbs will be in your heart. And as you breathe into your heart, you're watering those seeds. And when a seed, how it grows, it actually breaks. I love this image of like a seed breaking, and you just see the baby leaf coming from the earth or wherever it is growing. So allowing it to break, allowing it to transform as you breathe and water the seeds. And maybe even placing an intention there, and that could be your word of the year. That could be something else. Okay, breathing a bit deeper now. What is it you want to bring forth towards this season? What do you want to grow? And may from the quiet of winter, may that quietness fuel the power of your attention. Okay, may our own light awakens so that we may share it with the world. A few more moments here. And then breathing a little deeper. And then I'd love for you to take your hand gesture and turn it back over. So your palms are face up. Okay, let's take a deep breath in and cleansing sigh out. Ah. One more inhale and exhale. And you can open your eyes slowly. And let's go right away with that same awareness and consciousness. Let's continue our painting. So let's water our seeds just like we've done with our breath, but with our painting. So as you see here, I made like a little roots, water roots. Um, and so I watered my seeds. So that's the first step here. I don't know if you see the arrow. And the second arrow, you can just fill with earth, or I chose the color yellow. You can choose any color you want. So those are the next two steps. But really, embodying in creativity what you just experienced in your mind's eye as you were in your experience, right? We're just recreating what our imagination did in the breath work session. Okay, so a few more moments. My husband is taking the dog for a walk, so I'll just go. I'll be right back. Scott, he's right here. Thanks so much. I didn't put it on.
The darkness of my fears when all else disappears. Oh, the darkness of self-doubt will burn out all your lightness, all your lightness. So let go of the shadow of shame and blame. Praise and gain, you are more. Oh, just be who you are. And she sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. Reflecting the
Okay, 2 minutes.
White sails and offshore lights, we were passing ships in the night. Now I'm tracing shadows on your back, like I dreamt so many times. Oh, for so long I've been waiting, for so long for love like this. And I was so sure, baby, I lost you for a minute, but there's a sweetest spring at my door. Can you feel it? Just the same as before, many years ago. just been yours, only yours. There was a time when I let you go, allowed myself to be swayed and pulled, but for all my days I make a vow, no words could ever shake me now. 'Cause for so long I've been waiting, for so long for love like this. Now it's so sure.
Hey. Thanks, Erica. I think every time I screen share, I lose the music. And then when I share the music, I lose the other thing. So, okay. So how was that? I'd love that we went around now and we just say your name, and I'd love that you shared your experience. Also, I had one more quote um, that I love so much. It's, "You are beginning a new dance of spiral." You know how much I love spiral. You are beginning a new dance of spiral, preparing for a cycle of outward growth and expansion, gathering your strength for deep roots you grew over the winter and inspiration from your dreaming to curate a new chapter in your life. And that's from the Ritual book by Isla McLeod. So, yeah, let's go around, and I want the share tonight to be like, we're a small group, so if you want to share your association with spring or anything that came up maybe in the meditation and the painting so far, and if you did have a word of the year, like maybe it's association with your journey with that right now. So there's lots of places you can go. I just want you, I guess, to be free to just intuit what you want to share with the group tonight. However that percolates for you. And I think a lot of you know each other anyway, so it shouldn't be too daunting. Krista, we got you. We got you. And Stephanie too. But Stephanie, she knows some of the people. All right, who wants to begin? Yes, Holly, yes.
I can jump in and share. When we were laying down for I laid down meditation and I did not want to get up. I didn't want to stop. It felt so good. That's the first time since I pinched the nerve in my back later February that I've laid down on my back and really connected to my breath and like felt so connected, like just in my body. And you had said something about seeds of intention, or like, what seeds are we planting? And in my mind, I hadn't even thought about it. I didn't even know what my intentions were for leaving winter and going into spring. And what came forward for me was joy, friendship, joy, patience, and nature. So when I came back to sit down to paint, I'd only put one seed. And so I continued doing seeds. Then I continued to do blue water to water the seeds. And then there's the sun on top of it. So it almost seems like what came to me is, the tears from heaven or tears from the sun. Like there's this beautiful, like, I'll show it to you. Like there's this dance that's happening. It's
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's like seeds and water and the sun and a sunset. Yeah, there's definitely more to it and there's nothing at the bottom. So it's like it goes down into infinity. Um, And this is the first time I've painted since the end of February. So there's like sparks of stuff happening. I feel very excited and tingly inside.
The light
Yeah.
is awakening. Oh,
Yeah, it feels so good. And like I have my little space set up and I'm really, really happy, really joyful. That feels good. Like there's a shift happening.
we're happy for you. Let's take a breath with Holly. Thanks so much for sharing and being the first. Set the tone.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Holly.
I'll go ahead. What came up for me about what am I sort of bringing forth this spring, and what came to me is listening to my inner wisdom without the filter of the external world, which is a big shift because I believe that I'm more and more listening, but I'm always checking in first. So I feel like just let that shit go and just listen, um, and let the chips fall where they may. That sort of pleasing, people pleasing thing, like I'm letting that go, leave that behind, and just listening to my own inner voice and following that instead of checking in first with other people.
That's huge. And what's your word again, Lori?
Presence, and it is kicking me in the butt every day.
But also like this, I really want to just point out this aspect of like I'm not saying it right, but like the public eye, you know, um, like the voices we have inside and then are not allowing ourselves to speak out in public. And like the energy of spring, it's really going from the introvert to the extrovert. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I heard and what you were saying, like no more filters, you know. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'm not, yeah, just sort of listening to what's in and let it come out without being concerned of, is this going to come across okay? Or am I going to sound,
Yeah.
like I know what I'm talking about? Or am I that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oof. Oof. Let's take a breath. A sigh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Erica. Yes. Go girl.
Hello, I'm Erica. I don't know all of you guys, so
Wait, you know Heather.
I know Heather. Yeah, yeah, I know. So my word of the year, I've got my little thing, is flourish. So that's like very relevant, I feel, to springtime. At least for me, because it's like everything's blooming and changes are happening. Um, and that's really kind of like sitting with like kind of what's happening in my life right now. Like I'm going through like a kind of a career change, and like there's kind of a lot of changes happening. I'm going from like going into work every day to like working from home a lot, like almost every day. So I can feel like there's a change and there's like sort of like a balance shift like for the better, because I was the reason I like sought out like changing my career was because I was feeling like a little bit burnt out. Like I just couldn't, I was finding it really hard to like balance like my family and my kids and my husband and then like work. So kind of this new job is kind of like making me feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I there's like this weight kind of like lifted a little bit, because I can like breathe again a little bit. Like I have a little bit more time. I'm not like racing around and using all of my energy every single day. So yeah, I think it's like there's
And,
change happening and it's a good thing.
and you can flourish.
I can flourish. Yeah. I feel it coming.
Thank you. Let's take a breath. Thanks, Erica. It's good to see you. And a sigh. Thank you. Let's go. Yeah, Steph.
All right, so this is my picture, and I did roots kind of intertwining around here. And so my big thing is I lost my dad in November. So it's been sitting heavy with me, and it's almost been like hibernating because I'm also on mat leave, so I'm not really out there much. So I don't know, I just feel like this is gonna shift a little bit because it's just that time of year where there's no more hibernating and sitting, and it's more about connections and branching out, and how that's gonna change grief, because it's gonna be more about connectiveness instead of hibernating.
Mm. Well, just you sharing that with us, that's branching out. You're already doing it. I love that. I love those words for you, branching out, and that's what like it revealed itself in your painting. So connecting with that, and just witnessing yourself like in the hibernation, like it's everything you've shared. I feel it's so huge. Thank you so much for giving us that, Steph. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a breath and a sigh. And thanks so much. You really listened. I love how all the answers are so different. You've picked up on everybody picked up on something that was personal, a question that, something that came up. That's really what I wanted. So you're great listeners. Who wants to go next? Heather.
Yeah, I'll go. I have a bit of a headache that came on a couple hours ago, and meditation really helped. It's still there, so I'm just in a bit of a fog. But interestingly enough, I felt the headache come on for two reasons. I was actually on a way to a golf lesson this afternoon, indoor golf in East Hants, leaving Dartmouth, and it was hailing so bad, and the high winds. There was a whiteout on the highway. So we actually turned around, my friend and I, and came home. Although I don't think that's what the headache was about. My friend was going through a bit of stuff, and I was listening to her, and it was good, but I really felt her anxiety, and I really feel like I took it on. And I'm just coming down from a chaotic time myself since really probably 4 weeks ago. So all of a sudden, I was going to ask, it's interesting, because I was going to ask her, hey, let's go for coffee at Selby's in Coal Harbor. And my word of the year is allow. And I feel like I've been able to set boundaries. And in my head, I said, no, you already feel like I felt tense. I think you better not. So I was really proud of myself for that. But I think the headache is from a couple of things, maybe the weather, but also just the anxiety. It was a lot in the span of a half an hour on the highway. And I was like, let's turn around. So we turned around because we didn't know what the weather was going to be like. But I was so glad to have this workshop, because I think it's going to just ground me right back into maybe having a nice Epsom salt bath afterwards and going to bed. And somebody mentioned the word space. Can't remember if it was you, Holly. Oh boy, that is so important because I get overwhelmed easy when my space is messy for my art and my yoga. So I like to clean it up as much as I can, and it really helps. And I've noticed the last couple of days I've had to myself. My husband's in Florida, Yahoo, just for a week. And I had the grandkids off and on. I have them a lot, and people are over, and my life gets a little chaotic. But the last day I've had to myself, and it's just been like, yes, space is so good. So I'll just show you my painting. I did some spirals and my seeds. So I like that last quote you gave us. I need to look that one up still.
Yeah, I can send over the PDF too when I
Yeah.
send the recording. But Heather, a lot of tests with boundaries for you in the past month.
Yeah, it's good. I think I'm learning. It's great. That's where my word must be coming out. So seems to be, yeah.
And also I do believe we take on others, anxiety and thing. I mean, you saw my stories this week. I was talking about energetic hygiene, and I mean, it's really huge. Like, how do I stay in my own like core and my own and not take on? And it's hard when it's like a friend or in this like the ties, right? It gets really complex and family, but I find it fascinating that it keeps coming back for you, Heather, like in different situations. Like it's something that really wants to be looked at, Yeah. And I love the yes energy of your space. Thanks, Heather. Thank you. Let's take a breath. And a sigh. Thank you. Okay, who wants to share? Adele or Chris?
I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's coming up, what I've been holding on to, I think, with me is mothering. So trusting myself as a mother, like obviously figuratively to my son, but also the mother of myself, the mother of my art, just trusting all of that, and knowing that if I trust myself, I don't need to know where it's going or how it's going to turn out. Just that trust is enough. And that's sort of what's been coming up for me, and what's kind of going forward into spring. My son is, I think this whole thing was with his graduation, and it's bringing up a lot of mothering aspects. And it kind of is filtering into kind of everything else. How do I mother myself? How do I be the mother of my art? A lot of these mothering things. So it's kind of how I've been feeling the last, and how I want to feel, and how I'm feeling going into spring. And my word is actually wild for the year. So, so yes, lots of really great connections. Wild, yeah, has been definitely kicking my ass too. It's just this like really wild. It's, oh gosh, really, oh my God, I'm not this person, I'm not wild, but what does it really mean, right? And it's been coming to me in such really really great ways. Wild doesn't need to be, loud and overt, and it can be quiet, it can be gentle,
It can be motherhood.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I freaking love this connection for you, Adele. Oh, wow. It's beautiful. I had like shivers when you were talking. Let's take a breath. And a sigh. And I didn't know on what Adele just said, for you guys in guide, have you noticed this is a bit of a meandering happening here? And maybe you have the planner, Erica, but it's the month, the meandering month. So Krista, we'd love to hear about you too.
Just trying to figure out how to unmute here. I think, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I don't have a word of the year, but it kind of got me thinking about what my word of the year would be, and it kept coming back to change. And just, I think, like the changing seasons, and similar to what I think Holly was saying about like hibernating and being stuck inside all winter, and now like wanting to get out in nature more and experience it more. And then when you were talking about during the meditation, imagining what the seeds being watered, the seeds for me were like in my lower belly, and it kind of brought me back to like trusting my gut, and like I know what I need to do, and I just need to trust my instincts. So yeah.
Thank you so much for giving us that
Yeah.
imagery. Thank you so much, Krista. Good to have you here. Let's take a breath. Okay, and a sigh. Okay, I think everybody's taking a turn. Thank you so much. I want to share my screen one more time before we go ahead and move. Actually, Heather, the quote, or who wanted that quote again? But I can share it with you guys. So, and Krista kind of mentioned some of the association. We all kind of overviewed that, but I just want to bring a bit more of the association with spring. New beginnings, new moon. The maiden archetype, if you did have the she deck, she's in the she deck, the maiden archetype. So young, full of possibility, determined, positive, courageous, excited about everything. Like when Holly was like, I feel the bubbles, excitement, like that is so spring. And the spark of life, right? A spring, it's a hopeful season. When we're hopeful, we're in the spring season. And it's an insightful place. Yeah. So sprouting, inspiration, visions, air poetry, the spring of your cycle, so pre-ovulation or new moon if you don't have a cycle anymore, and purification. And then I just wanted to add kind of some of the things I've summarized too. So moving from the winter dark static, it's really a death season in a way, deep rest energy into the light. Again, midway between celebration of darkness, winter solstice, and celebration of light, summer solstice, shifting from introvert energy to winter to budding extroversion of spring. I wrote here, it's the season where we shed some clothes, but also, mental layers. So like it's just shedding of symbolic layers, if you will. And yeah, like moving from reflection, contemplation to actions, right? And so like everything that you've all shared, like for example, Krista, change. What are little shifts or little acts that you can do that will connect that to change? Or even Lori, with the speaking out, like can you start like little places, like not overwhelming places where like the speaking out feel like practicing those things so that it's like becomes a muscle, an act, so small daily acts of bravery, we talk about that all the time. But so coming out of the metaphor abstract world of our dreams and desires into the action. Okay, so and then I love this last one here. It's again, it's not summer, because summer we're in like the full light, we're moving towards the light. So so this is why the symbol, the meander, comes back to me again, like trusting the movement of the light, trusting where the river goes, trusting where, like, and I think of in Quebec, you have a lot of little streams, and I mean, you have them here too. But I don't know. I was thinking about like little forest streams, you know, and they kind of have their own personality, and they go where they're like, "Oh, there's one there, what?" Like, you know, and it's kind of unexpected. So there's really a movement to light in the spring. Okay, so I will stop my share. Anything you all want to add to what I said? Okay, so let's go into the Satya practice. Holly, I think it'll be like absolute perfection, but just but do be careful. So if like, you know, bending your knees and all that. So I still want you to make it, but I do think it's gonna be actually perfect for because it's mostly on your back. Okay, so I have my usual like red circle mat. But if you did have a yoga mat and you put a blanket on top, I had mentioned it on the email. If you have a carpeted floor, that's actually also perfect. And we'll start on our backs. I will do the practice with you all, so you have a visual anchor. I know if you've never done this practice with me before. And I plan to go maybe until like 8:50, and then we'll do just a final a final circle. If you did have bricks maybe, but I don't want you to worry too much about that. And let's start in Shavasana. So but Shavasana actually I want your palms to face down and your arms to be away from the body. A nice big belly breath, belly rises and belly falls. So let's go ahead and breathe in your bellies.
You know, the
A
fire's
long
burning low. Can you feel the
in
flame,
breath.
the fading glow? You know,
A
the
long
world is
out breath.
slowing down. I can hear your footsteps drowning out. We're burning out. We're burning down. We're the ashes on the ground. We're burning out. We're burning down. We've fallen underground. You are, you're singing our song, but your heart is somewhere else. I know we are, we're trying to belong. Pick up the pieces left of us.
So dropping into your bones.
We're burning down.
So nice and heavy throughout.
The ashes on the ground.
And then from here, I'll get you to bend both knees, palms still face down. Squeeze your shoulder blades and blossom out through the chest. You can squeeze your bum just a little bit too. It's really nice to breathe in and around your spine here. So the first movement I'll get you to do is to press the right foot down And you'll reach the right knee forward. And then bring it back. So it's very subtle. So right knee forward. So see how my knee forward and then it comes back. It's as if my feet slide down. And then I can do that with the left. So I'll go left and right. My feet stay on the mat. My feet are going left and right. There's a powerful connection with the back of your brain and your sacrum. Breathing into the back side of your body. And we do not need to force anything at all. A lot of these movements are new for you all, so you notice if you're picking up the pace, really slowing it down. In Satya, your breath is not as controlled as traditional yoga. So just allowing your breath to be conscious and synced to your movements. It's more of a natural.
I know you think the stars align for you and not for her as well. I understand, I can't admit that I have felt those things myself. I saw the way you left
And a few more. Pressing the right foot down, slide the knee, then come back. Pressing the left foot down, slide the knee, and then come back. Extend both legs out and a quick Shavasana.
If it's convenient for you, you want her love, she'll give you more. That's when your words are so convincing. Say you'll try until she's sure that you will change. I can't admit that I have been right here before, but on that morning when you're proud.
Okay, let's bend the knees again, okay? And we'll do an unwinding of the spine. So interlace your fingers behind your head. We'll lift the chin nice and high and then drop your pelvic bone down. So as you reach your chin high, drop the pelvic bone. And then we'll inhale here and then exhale, come up. So it's not a crunch of the ab, although there's a lot of activity here, but very subtle, as if your spine was a seaweed, making S shape and C shapes. So it's a bit of recreating the cat-cow, but on our backs, letting ourselves rock and having the support of the earth. Okay, and really going all along the spine, like making a C and an S shape. Take your tongue off the roof of your mouth so you're nice and your face is nice and relaxed. Yeah, and let's do some cross motion. So you'll get the right elbow to the left knee as you elevate the left knee in. And come back. Inhale, chin high, drop the pelvic bone. and then come back the other side. You got it. And then back down, up. So always back to our imaginary midline. And you can stay just doing this. That could be enough. Again, you're not forcing anything. Okay. Or you could add a flick of the heel. I'll do it just right now. So as you go onto one side, you can extend that left leg up and come back down. Inhale, look up. And then exhale onto the other side. So I just extend that leg, if that's okay. And come back. I catch myself speeding up all the time doing this. Catching myself keeping the rhythm slow and steady. And last one on each side. So keep breathing. The nervous system love these cross motions like this. The brain loves it. It's very balancing, self-regulating. Okay, and let's go into Shavasana. Extend your legs, but palms face down. Okay, keep your legs where they are. I'm just going to back up so you can see me better. Extend your arms out wide. And I want you to bring your thumb down like this, thumb down like you were twisting, spiraling your arms. Thumb down, and then back down onto your mat. Squeeze that part in a little bit, and then come back up, and then twist the pinky the other way. And we'll go like this, like our arms were like little tools. Little screwdriver going in and up. And I lead this movement with my pinky on one side and with my thumb on the other side. Sati is a very subtle practice, but works directly with the fascia sheet, all the spirals of your muscles, to create different connections. Okay, a few more. And if you feel it feels awkward, it's very common. It feels awkward only because your body they're new movements, right? New shapes. Okay, last one, I'm twisting and my thumb reaches the mat. Chin is in. And from here, I will clasp my hands together, soften my shoulders back down, and bring my chin in. Now I breathe in the back door of my heart. I let my chest rise and fall. Find the puff there of air. Maybe that's where my seeds were from the meditation. I don't know. I will take my arms to the right, and as I do that, I will look towards the left. And come back. And the same. And come back. So 2 on each side. So we'll go arms to the left, look to the right, and come back. Arms to the left, look to the right. Yeah, you got it, Adele. Bring your palms together if you can. Yes, and then come back. One more on the right. Back. And the right. Come back. And left. Back. And left. Come back. Now take your finger pads onto your chest and give yourself little taps, just little. Again, very subtle. We're not smacking anything. Right at your sternum bone. Little taps, little taps. Fill up your chest. And then extend your arms back down. Palms face up. Okay, let's bend the right knee. Last one, very earth, and then we'll go and add more air. Okay, so extend the palms out wide, palms face down. You'll take the right knee up and over on the left side, but that foot will stay on the mat. Okay, so we'll go left. This travels left as you look towards the right. That, and then comes back. And we'll try to keep the right foot on the floor. Okay. And maybe the first one we don't do so far. I also find my knee does a circle in space. This rinses out your psoas, iliopsoas, one side of your abdominal. Okay, really good for your low back as well. Last two. If you want to add a twist on that arm too, you can. So knee goes to the left, twist. Gaze to the right. Knee to the left. back to midline. And one more. And then extend the right leg out. Bend the left knee in. Okay, so same thing on the left side. I'll just turn so you guys see that side better. Think. Okay, so left will go right. See how my foot stays here? I don't even have to go that far. Okay, I just feel so good, so but I don't have to force. Right? The flower just says yes, the tree just says yes, the seasons, they just say yes. Let your body say yes. Okay, a different type of unwinding the body, a nice revolve of the spine, lubricating your joint here. And last one. Okay, come back, Shavasana, please face up. Now, if you did have a brick or a blanket, or I'm gonna put a blanket, but again, this is kind of optional, but I like to do it. I just filmed the movement class. Which one was it? The Terra Mater class in the movement studio with these kinds of movement as well, but adding a bit of air into our movement. So getting the blanket, or if you had like a brick, you can even have brick and the blanket on top. So it's really up to you. My blanket is kind of like, yeah, this one, this one's better. Okay, so both hands on your feet. So we'll go right knee up and then come back. Left knee up and then come back. And you can also do a little click of your heel in or out as you go up, click and down. And this they actually call this a little nerve flossing. So we'll go up. Close your eyes, make this very mindful. I know they're like so simple. And you can also like do a little turnout. Yeah. And you in. And then you can do some S's with the leg. You can start with the right. So just doing the S shape, the branching out, the river. Okay. And then we'll do the left. And then you can kind of create a little dance with both your legs. Your hands can be on the side or in circles or repeat.
Probably can't see the bigger pages, wings and make me fly.
Okay, let your body go where it wants to go. All the yeses. Where are the yeses in your body? Okay, and then you can lower your feet back down. Keep your knees bent. And then take the right arm up. We can just do S's with the right arm now. Left and right. As if there was a gust of wind. In French, you say mistral. And coming somewhere it feels extra and it wants more of your attention. Give it. Linger there. And go on the other side. The left. My left is completely different. So I just honor that, listen to that, see where it wants to go. It's not going to look like the other side. And just noticing prana navigating in your body, your Shakti. And sometimes there's like big gusts coming, just let it come. Really what's different about we're not trying to control our breath as much as we do in the traditional yoga. All right, let's become 8 months old, 1 year old again. So you can take the pillow out or you can leave it there. Actually, I'm going to leave it there. And we're literally going to just have our arms in like this. You've seen babies on their backs, right? And they just very subtle, very slow. And if you get distracted, come back to your breath, come back to your spine, come back to the metaphor we used throughout this workshop, the seed, watering the seed, the breath, the light awakening, the new beginning. Okay, how are we going to break out of our bulb and grow? When I teach my babies yoga class, it's so cute. Sometimes the babies, they'll just like look at their hand or like, I love it so much. They'll just like look at their hand and then there's a sense of wonder, you know, so keep that sense of wonder and play and lightness. Pretend you're swimming and you're floating, or I don't know. Wonderful. Very well done, everyone. Okay, so start doing these things. Okay, and now you'll really get whatever's on your low back out And we'll finish with a lying down tree pose. So extend the right leg out, bend the left knee in, and I'm actually going to use a brick because I have a little sciatica on my left side. So if you want to use a brick, you're welcome to. Bring your palms at your chest. Then we did tap our hearts. We can just tap the crown of our heads a little bit, the forehead, crown of the head, forehead, maybe the cheeks, the jaw. And then let's anchor back down, your hands down on the mat. Bring the left knee in and we'll extend and do the other side. So and open up on the right side. Bring your palms at your chest. And take the right knee back up. Send the right leg out. And let's turn onto one side. And slowly come up back to your seat. Okay, palms face up. Excuse me. And just perhaps just notice your body now. Perhaps there's some little release, maybe macro release. Bring your palms at your chest. Let's inhale to yes. And exhale to yes. Okay, my loves, and we have time actually to touch up our painting once more. Transition to, let's do like a quick 4-minute painting session. I will share my screen again. And this one I'm calling from expansion to spring painting. Now we are into spring painting. So putting some kind of blue leaves, like it's broken out now and it's become its tree, its own looking, eclectic looking tree.
I went for a walk under the moon, and I asked for something to guide me on to the dark. The darkness in my fears will more or less disappears. All the darkness of self-doubt will burn out all your lights, all your eyes. So let go, shadow, shade, lay, raising gate, all low, or just be who you are. She said, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She said, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She said, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. She said, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light. Be bold and bright, reflecting the light.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Reflecting the light.
Okay, everyone. And I will leave you tonight with a few more journal prompts that I love to use. What will I tend to? What might I plant? How will I bring what I have been contemplating into action? And this one is important for me, the last one, because it's from the darkness that the light awakens, not from outside the darkness. Like the source of your light is from the darkness, like what you've been sitting on in winter. You know, this is what will give you light. This is what you will spring into. This is where your creativity will come forth. This is, so it's from winter. Like there wouldn't be a spring if there wasn't a winter, So what are we, from, it's kind of like the seed, like it's the same passageway from the seed to the leaf. You know, So, and I'd love to know, this is our last share. Hopefully we have time to go around and talk quickly to everyone. And of course, we don't have time to answer all of these here, but if you want to pick one and answer one. So either what might I plant in this season? And I will do a summer solstice one. So this is something you can bring back at the summer solstice. Did your garden grow? Did your garden grow? That'd be cool. I'm sure it will if you water it with breath, with movement, with creativity. What might I plant? And yeah, how will I bring what I've been contemplating, what I've been sitting with in winter in action? Okay. Let me stop sharing my screen. We'd love to hear from you, everyone. Oh, we lost Erica.
I'm gonna plant more fences.
Ooh, touche. The best. Thanks, Heather. I hope you have a good sleep tonight and good Epsom salt bath. Who else?
I am going to tend to my creativity because I've kind of not really tended to it during this. Yeah, I feel like it's just painting tonight. I feel like, okay, now it's time to emerge more,
Wonderful. Wonderful little lightning bolts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We go. Who else?
I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to plant more trust in myself
Plant more trust.
and that connection to the mother in me.
That's really, Adele, a really beautiful. Stay with that one for a while. You will, right?
I will. I like that connection that I unearthed there.
Yeah. Thank you. Erica's back. I thought I'd lost you. We're doing, let me share my screen again for you, my love. Actually, we were just answering. Did you see those questions?
No, I didn't. My computer died, so
Oh. So I'm just leaving you with some journal prompts. These are them, and everyone just answering one because obviously just the one that you're more attracted to, but hopefully you get to answer the other ones maybe later, and I'll just get you to reflect on that. Who wants to answer? We got Steph, Holly, maybe Krista.
I can go, I guess. For what will I tend to? I want to tend more to my inner desires and dreams because I've been wanting to make a career change for a while, so I need to figure that out and work on that.
Oh, well, that's exciting. A little action step towards your visions.
Yes.
Incredible. Thank you, Krista. Steph? We can't hear you, Steph.
I have been contemplating just a lot of my role as a parent, and I want to bring more playfulness into my life.
Excellent. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. Who hasn't gone? Holly?
I need more time I need more time to reflect on this because nothing is really it feel it feels it just feels like a cluster that I need to sort through first.
Take all the time that you need. Yeah. I'm curious, not just you, Holly, but how was the movement practice? I know some of you have done a lot of that with me, but yeah,
Good. Yeah, good.
good. Laurie, what did you think?
It was beautiful. It was very, very calming and grounding. Mm, yeah.
My headache was gone for the whole practice, but now that I'm back
Oh,
up, it's back. But I should just do the satia all night.
just lay down, lay down, lay down. And Erica, did you have time maybe to?
Yeah, like what might I plant? Tomatoes for sure. I'm starting up my seeds that I'm gonna plant in my garden, so it's like literally very literal.
I
But
love that.
I get a lot of like satisfaction from like growing things, like whatever my little house plants and stuff. So I'm gonna try to do a vegetable garden this year. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
And
Tomatoes.
I thank you, Erica, for bringing us back to the real world because this can be as simple as planting, well, planting tomatoes. I don't know if I can do that, but you know, the literal, because you know, when we can't just be in the visions and the metaphors all the time, you know, how does this, so I loved it can be as simple as actually planting a real garden, you know. Um, and yeah, I want to thank all of you. Did everyone go? I want to share with you a really special podcast that I found that you might be interested. It's really intense. So because we're in this, it's called The Emerald. And it's called there's it's the 2 hour both part podcast. So you need to be ready. But it is incroyable. It's called The Emerald, and it's called For the Intuitive, and there's a part 1 and there's a part 2. And it's really out there, but I feel everyone here would love it. Would really love it. And I think his name is Joshua. I forget his last name. But I had to listen to it in parts because it was so intense, and it was like all the yeses, and very affirming for me. Someone that acts on visions and on desires, and you know, lives an artful life. So I really highly recommend you check it out. Um, because it felt really hopeful too, which is spring feels like the season of, you know, a bit more levity, if you will, and in what's happening outside in the seasons. And yeah, and I want to thank you for your presence and your willingness to do that with me and go through the rituals. Um and I always get a kick of looking at your sparkly eyes through the screen, and just so willing and brave and vulnerable, and it's literally what I live for. So let's take one last breath together. I wish you all a great season of tending and planting. Yes, planting the seeds for all your visions and dreams and desires and intentions, whatever that might look like, or about to reveal itself. No pressure. And as we are here together, one last quote I want to share with you. I'll just say it. And as terrifying as the future may seem to be, I hope you can also believe that maybe it will also be beautiful. Not perfect, but beautiful. And you will realize that all along, even in your most uncertain moments, you are still being prepared for all that was ahead. And that is by, I forget her name, but she goes by MHN on Instagram. MHN, maybe Heather knows. It's I know Morgan Harper, beautiful, beautiful human. Shares incredible art. She has like millions of followers. So let's take one last breath. My fairies, inhale and exhale. Let's go frolic in the spring season now. I will see you on the flip side. I love you all so much. Take good care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Estelle.
Thanks, Estelle. It was wonderful.